My ex wanted to meet for closure but planned to falsely accuse me, so I said let's meet at my friend's coffee shop. I brought my lawyer, secretly recorded her, and she got arrested trying to make a scene. I'm 32 and I used to be a pretty simple guy. My life was quiet, predictable. I had a woman I loved, a solid group of friends, and a future that felt secure. Then I learned the foundation of my entire life was a lie, a carefully constructed, elaborate lie. And the person who lit the match wasn't some monster from a movie. It was my fiancée, Natalie. It all started the way these things often do, with a text message that wasn't for me. Natalie and I had been together for 5 years, engaged for 1. We were that couple. The ones people pointed to. Our wedding was just 6 months away. Deposits were paid. The venue was booked. The whole thing. One night she was in the shower. Her phone was on the nightstand, which never happens. That phone is usually glued to her hand. It lit up. A message from Alan New. I knew Alan. He was supposed to be one of my closest friends. The new tag was weird, but I figured okay. Maybe she got a new phone for him or something. The preview on the lock screen, though, just a string of heart emojis. My mind raced to find an innocent explanation. It's a surprise party. They're planning something for the wedding, but this feeling washed over me. Cold, sharp. It cut right through the calm. I didn't touch the phone. I just stared at it until the screen went dark. And when she came out of the bathroom wrapped in a towel, smiling like nothing in the world was wrong, a chasm opened up right there between us. The next few weeks were quiet, personal, kind of hell. I became an observer in my own life. I watched her. The constant texting, the little smiles she tried to hide when she thought I wasn't looking. The late nights at work that started piling up. It was the oldest, trashiest script in the book, and I was the chump with a front row seat. But the real gut punch, it wasn't just the affair. It was the money. We had a joint account for the wedding. I put the bulk of my savings into it. $40,000. It was an inheritance from my grandmother. I told Natalie it was for us, for our future, a down payment on a house. She cried when I told her. Said it was the most romantic thing anyone had ever done for her. One Tuesday morning I checked the account. My heart just stopped. It was almost empty. Thousands of dollars gone. Transferred out over 2 months in bigger and bigger chunks. All to an account in Alan's name. They weren't just sleeping together. They were building a nest. Planning a new life with my grandmother's money. The calm I'd been forcing myself to maintain just shattered, but it wasn't rage that filled the space. It was something colder, something crystal clear. I didn't want to scream. I wanted to understand the gears of the machine that had just run me over. That night I didn't confront her. I made her dinner. I played the part. Every word out of her mouth felt like dust, but I just nodded and she was good. A seamless liar. She'd look me right in the eye, her face full of love, and complain about how stressed she was with the wedding budget. The sheer audacity, it was breathtaking. The next day I went to a lawyer, a quiet older guy named Gabriel. I laid it all out. He told me to keep playing dumb, gather more evidence. That night I got it. Natalie was asleep, her phone charging. I didn't know her new passcode, but then it hit me. We had a 6-digit PIN we used for shared things: Netflix, the building entry system, the month and day of our first date. My stomach turned on a long shot. I typed it in. Click. It opened. The password to her secret life was our beginning. I didn't have much time. I couldn't risk some complicated download. I just opened her texts and photos and used my own phone to record a video scrolling through everything. It was crude, but it was proof. Texts, photos, travel plans for a trip to Bali, and the messages where they laughed about me, about how oblivious I was. Alan called me a walking ATM, Natalie replied with a laughing emoji. Reading that, it broke something in me that I don't think will ever heal. This wasn't just a betrayal, it was a complete character assassination. The confrontation came a few days later. It wasn't loud. I just sat her down on the couch we picked out together. I know Natalie. She tried to play dumb. Know what, babe? About you and Alan, I said, and about the money. The color drained from her face. The mask slipped. For just a second I saw pure animal panic in her eyes. Then it was gone, replaced by a wall of cold defensiveness. You went through my phone, she snapped. After everything, you don't trust me. The gaslighting was so fast, so automatic. I didn't say a word. I just slid a bank statement across the coffee table. A single transfer, $15,000. To Alan. She stared at it. The wedding's off, I said, my voice flat. I want you out by the end of the week. And then the performance began. Tears. Excuses. Alan manipulated her. She was confused. She loved me. I just sat there completely still, watching a movie where I already knew the ending. She left the next day, but not before a final shot. She stood in the doorway, her face twisted with a malice I'd never seen. You think you can just erase me? She said, her voice low, trembling. You have no idea what you've just done. I believed her. Update 1. It's been 3 weeks. The silence in this apartment is deafening. I thought packing up her things, erasing her from the space, would be the end of it. I was wrong. It was just the intermission. Natalie's story to our friends was a work of art. In her version, I was the manipulative, controlling monster. Alan was her knight in shining armor, and people bought it. I lost friends. People I'd known for a decade now looking at me with pity or contempt. I didn't have the energy to fight it. Trying to explain the truth felt impossible. Then about a week ago, a text from a new number. It was Natalie. I know you hate me and I deserve it, but I can't move on without getting some closure. Can we please just talk one last time? My first instinct. Block the number. My lawyer Gabriel told me to cease all contact, but it felt wrong. Too neat. Too strategic. Natalie isn't the closure type. She's the burn it all down type. I called my cousin Grace. She still has some loose ties to Natalie's old college friends. A few days later, Grace called back. She'd heard something, a rumor, third-hand, fuzzy, but it was enough. Natalie's sister had been bragging at a bar that Natalie was going to finally put me in my place. The details were vague. Something about meeting up that I wouldn't know what hit me, and that she was going to make sure everyone saw the truth. It was just smoke. But when I connected it to her text, a chilling picture started to form. A public scene, an accusation, a trap. I called Gabriel, told him everything. His response was immediate. Absolutely not, he said, his voice sharp. Ralph, do not meet her. This is a transparent attempt to provoke you. We have the financial case. It's solid. Don't walk into an ambush and create a he said she said that could ruin everything. Block her. Do not reply. I heard him. I did. But I also heard Natalie's voice in my head. You think you can just erase me? She wasn't going to stop. A false police report, a restraining order, she would find another way to wreck my life. This felt like my one chance. My only chance to control the narrative, to let her build her own stage and then watch her burn on it. I'm going to meet her, I told Gabriel. I'm not gonna let her haunt me. There was a long, heavy silence on the phone. I could practically hear him rubbing his temples. This is a profoundly stupid, high-risk and ill-advised idea, he said. I am formally advising you against it. He took a breath. That being said, if you are dead set on this foolishness, you will do it correctly. Public place witnesses and you will record everything. I told him the plan. The Grind, the coffee shop owned by my friend Roy, the one with the brand new security system, high-def video, crystal clear audio. Fine. Gabriel said, the exasperation palpable. My office is 2 blocks away. Call me the second it's over, and if things go sideways, you call 911 first, then you call me. I texted her back. Okay, Natalie. One last conversation for closure. The Grind. Saturday. 2 p.m., she agreed almost instantly. The trap was set. She just didn't know it wasn't hers. Update 2. Saturday was cold and gray. There was a knot in my stomach so tight I could barely breathe. Gabriel's words were a mantra in my head. Say as little as possible. Do not get angry. You are a piece of furniture. Let her perform to an empty room. I got to the Grind at 1:45. Roy gave me a subtle nod from behind the counter. The place was busy. Perfect. I picked a table in the center, one I knew was covered by 2 cameras. I sat down, back to the wall, clear view of the entrance. I started the voice recorder on my phone and placed it face down. At 2:03 she walked in. She'd made an effort. She scanned the room, saw me, and her face settled into that familiar mask of weary sadness. As she walked over, another woman I'd never seen before entered and sat at a table nearby. The witness. It was all happening. "Hey Natalie," said her voice fragile as she sat down. "Thanks for coming," I replied, my voice flat. We made a few minutes of painful stilted small talk, then she took a deep shaky breath. "Showtime. Look." She started, her voice already trembling. "I wanted to meet because I just need you to understand how much you hurt me. You were so controlling." I just looked at her, said nothing. A piece of furniture. I could see her frustration growing. I wasn't taking the bait. "Are you even listening to me?" She snapped, her voice getting louder. A few heads turned. "This is typical. You just shut down. This is why I was so lonely. You pushed me to Alan." Her voice was rising. Now her witness was watching us intently, phone in hand. "I'm listening, Natalie," I said evenly. "No, you're not." She shot up from her chair, knocking it back. "You think you're so perfect, don't you? I am not afraid of you anymore." And then she did it. She drew back her hand and slapped herself. A hard, vicious slap across her own face. Crack. The sound was sickeningly loud in the now silent cafe. "Ow." She shrieked, a raw, piercing sound. She stumbled back, clutching her cheek. "You hit me." Tears, real or fake, streamed down her face. "He hit me. Someone help me. He hit me." The cafe went dead silent. Everyone was staring at me. And in that one moment, even knowing it was an act, a wave of pure terror washed over me. It felt real. Her witness was on her feet, phone to her ear. "Yes. I need the police. My friend was just assaulted." The grind on Main Street. It was chaos. Natalie was sobbing. The witness was giving a dramatic play-by-play. I didn't move. My hands were flat on the table. My heart was a battering ram against my ribs. "Furniture," I told myself. "Just furniture." The police arrived in what felt like seconds. The witness pointed a shaking finger at me. "He hit her." "Sir, stand up. Hands on the table." The first officer said, his voice firm. I did. His partner went over to a hysterical Natalie. This was it. The most terrifying moment of my life. I was the villain. It was working. "Sir," the first officer asked me. "What happened here?" I took a slow breath. "Officer, my name is Ralph. I did not touch this woman. We are in an ongoing legal dispute. I have a voice recording of this entire conversation on my phone." I nodded towards Roy, who was already walking over from the counter, and the owner of this shop has a complete video and audio recording of this entire incident. The officer looked at me, then at Roy. "Is that correct?" "It is," Roy said. "High definition. With audio, you're going to want to see it." Natalie's sobs hitched. I saw her head whip around. The color drained from her face. She looked at me, at Roy, and then up at the little black domed camera on the ceiling right above our table. The act was over. The stage collapsed. The look on her face wasn't a victim's anymore. It was pure venomous hatred. And then she ran a clumsy, desperate bolt for the door. "Ma'am, stop!" an officer yelled. He moved fast, intercepting her before she made it 5 feet. She started struggling, screaming that she was the victim. It was ugly, pathetic. And as they were cuffing her, a new person walked in. Gabriel. My lawyer. He looked calm as ever. He made eye contact with me, gave a single tiny nod, and then walked straight to the officers. "Officers," he said, his voice the calm in the storm. "My name is Gabriel Thorne. I represent this man. I believe you have some evidence to review." I just sat there staring at a half-empty coffee cup, my hands still shaking. Final update. It's been 8 months. The dust never really settled. It just hangs in the air now. Natalie's brilliant plan fell apart spectacularly. The video was a prosecutor's dream. You see her slap herself. You hear everything. She was charged with filing a false police report. Obstruction. After months of delays, she finally pleaded guilty. She got 2 years probation, a hefty fine, and mandatory counseling. The criminal conviction blew her out of the water in our civil case. Faced with proof of fraud, her lawyer advised her to settle. That's still being finalized. The wheels of justice are slow and they're coated in rust, but it looks like I'll get most of the money back. Alan had to sell his precious car. I heard he and Natalie are no longer together. So that's the tidy part of the story, the legal scorecard. The rest is a mess. My old friend group is gone, just obliterated. Even with the video, some people just quietly faded away. I guess it was easier than admitting they'd backed the wrong horse. My circle is smaller now, but it's real. It's a cold comfort. Dating is a minefield. Explaining my last relationship is a process. I'm more cautious now. Analytical. I look for angles in everyone. That easy, simple trust one used to have in people, it's gone. I don't know if it's coming back. Sometimes late at night I think about that moment. The sound of that slap, the look of pure panic on her face when she realized she'd lost. I won. I methodically dismantled her attack. I got my revenge. It was calculated. It was just, but there is no joy in it. There's no triumphant fist pump, no feeling of righteous victory. There is just a profound and heavy sense of loss. I lost the woman I thought I knew. I lost 5 years of my life. I lost friends, and I lost a part of myself, that naive, trusting part that thought life was simple. The revenge wasn't a clean victory. It was like fighting a fire. I put the fire out. Yes. But my house is still a wreck. The whole place is covered in soot, and the smell of smoke lingers in every single room. I'm just living in the wreckage, trying to figure out what's salvageable and what I need to burn down myself just to start over. So yeah, I won. But if this is what winning feels like, I hope I never have to win again.